And for today's creature feature, we come to 106th Street and Central Park West. I'm going to start this video by sharing with you where I stayed this weekend. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't be standing on this subway grate. Do you hear that? Whoa. There are so many things down there. Isn't that a beautiful piece of architecture right here on the corner of Central Park and 106 West? It's beautiful. Very gothic looking. This is not where I stayed this weekend. And walking down to where I stayed, it's actually this building right here with the construction scaffolding. 36 West 106, comma, hostel. If you didn't know, each time I come to New York alone, I have always stayed in a hostel. This is my first time staying at this one. I usually stay in Midtown. This is a pod style hostel. I had a little pod all to myself. It was awesome. I always wanted to stay in one of these, and I finally did it. And for this experience, I paid about $100 a night. That's pretty good for staying right next to Central Park. 36 West, Central Park Hostel. Overall, had a great experience. It was very clean, very pleasant stay. Being in a pod, shutting the door, it was very private. I didn't mind it. I'm traveling alone all the time in New York City, so just a place to rest my head at night, that's all I need, and this place was perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna show you my little pod and a little tour. This was previously recorded. This is my ladder up to my pod. Here's me inside the pod. Very cool space, very big space. I actually had enough room to lay down in this pod. The previous hostel cabin I stayed at, the Chelsea cabins, were just a little small for a tall person like me, just a little bit. This was more comfortable. I slept better. There are plugins for your phone. I plugged in my laptop. I edited right here. Very cool lighting. You can actually switch these knobs and control the lighting, all kinds of different hues and colors. Overall, I had a really good stay, really comfortable stay. I stayed here 2 nights. It cost me $207 each, about $100 a night with taxes and fees. Also, I had a restroom. This room, 6 pods, had access to a private restroom. There were also showers and restrooms down the hall if this one was busy. But overall, I didn't really see anyone. Everyone was either in their pod or out having fun in New York. This was a good stay here at Comma, and I would stay here again for the experience and just for the comfort. It was a good time. It was just what I needed. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time. I am Tampa J in New York City. This is day 3 of this weekend trip. Come to New York all the time. I'm heading out over to New Jersey today to catch a flight back to Tampa, but I have plenty of time. Actually, I don't have to be to the airport until about 2:30 in the afternoon. My flight leaves at 4:30. A couple hours at the New York International Airport will be sufficient time. I've done this a couple times. That being said, the main subject matter of this video, I am going to show you where the Titanic should have landed back in 1912. The pier where, if the tragic event did not occur back on April 14th, 1912, the sinking of the Titanic, if that would have not have happened, the Titanic would have landed right here in New York City. You may have already known that, but did you know where it was supposed to land? Well, I'm going to show you that today. And also, I'm going to show you what is called the most haunted place, the most haunted place in New York City. The House of Death is what they call it. That's pretty much it. Also, I'm going to show you my journey, of course. You're going to see some things. New York City's full of stuff, full of history. I love this place. And that's going to be the video. It's starting to rain, so hopefully I don't get too wet. Oh yeah, I want to mention, I've got my backpack with me. I was originally supposed to do something else this morning. I booked my ticket to go to the top of the rock, the Rockefeller Center, and then last night I read that I couldn't take a backpack. I'm traveling. I have my backpack, so I'll have to save that for another time. Much ahead. We'll do that again. Okay, long intro here. as always, I gotta set it up properly. Thank you for watching, guys. We're celebrating 100,000 subscribers again. Video coming soon on that. I'm Tampa J, this is New York, and there's so much ahead. There will always be much ahead in this city. And so right behind me as I was doing the intro, I noticed that this over here, this entrance to Central Park, it says Stranger's Gate. I've never been this far up Central Park. I think I've got to climb up there and take a look. Ooh, that's haunting. Stranger's Gate. Grown men go into the park at night and don't come out alive. Home Alone 2. And at the top of those steps and a little further, a clearing. This is called Great Hill. Here's a little map to show you just exactly where we are in Central Park. Great Hill. This was the gate. This is the pathway we just climbed up. Looks like there's several people. Ooh, a lot of doggies out here. See a lot of doggies. I once heard that Manhattan Island is a giant rock. And here's proof of it right here, popping out of Central Park. A lot of rock below us. Perhaps why they built so many buildings on its firm foundation. Not something you think you would see right here in the city, huh? You hear the subway again. Ooh, wind picking up, oh boy. All right, crossing Central Park West and on 103rd Street, a subway access. Right here, I'm gonna take the blue C train all the way down Manhattan. We're gonna head over to the Hudson River area, to the piers. So I just tapped my phone for $1. My Metro card ran out. It's really cool that you can just tap your phone and enter the subway. Oh, I gotta go this way actually, downtown. And I'll probably stop for coffee, but it's saying that this journey with train and a walk is only 29 minutes, if the trains are on time. Train. Woo! All right, here we go. Won't be someone's subway story. Okay. All right. So we're actually going to surface on 16th Street, but we got to go to 14th. The 14th will take us all the way down to the Hudson River, near where the Titanic docked, or should have docked. Oh my gosh. Always been fascinated with the history of that tragedy. From the 90s, there was a huge hit movie in the 90s called The Titanic. You might remember it. Look at that. It's the top of the Empire State Building over on 34th Street. And I came right up. Check this out. It's the Google building. Can't believe I haven't had my coffee yet. I need my coffee. This is 8th Avenue, by the way, 111th, 8th Avenue, the Google building. Decided to get the Nitro Cold Brew here at Terremoto Coffee. Let's try it out. This is a pretty cool vibe in here. Pretty cool place in there. Pretty small place. First sip. Ah, not bad for $8 cold brew. $9 with a tip. That's pretty good. And at 15th and 9th, you got the Chelsea Market. I've walked through there before. I don't know if I filmed that. That was years ago. Very cool spot. Lots of shops, eateries, restaurants inside there. And then over here, I could have waited for the Starbucks Reserve Roastery to get coffee. A couple years ago, I started a video out here with Adam the Woo, my good buddy. We got coffee in there. It took a long time to get coffee at the Reserve. Wonder if it's changed. It doesn't look that busy today. Oh well, this is pretty good. Check out this walkway in between these two gigantic brick buildings, very historic buildings. Just cool to see that. You don't see that back in Tampa. Crossing 10th Avenue. There's the Chelsea Market behind me, the back side of the building. You can see water. There's the Hudson right over there. And just beyond the Hudson here, Pier 57. a giant walkway that runs down along these piers. Many things to do along 11th here, along the Hudson. So many piers, parks, restaurants, attractions, and where the Titanic should have landed. I've got the little man, lighted little man sign, that guy right there. That means I can walk, if you didn't know. So each of the historic piers are marked all the way down the river. Here's marker 57. Check this out. I've always wanted to get this park in a video. Passed it a couple times. Isn't that awesome? Whoa. Now we're very close to the pier where the Titanic used to dock. We'll get there in a second. Just got to show this. Look at that architecture right there. It's beautiful out there. A lot of people walking. You can see the historic pylons too below it. Those pylons are well over 100 years old. This is so cool. I believe this is called pier. Wait for it. It's right here. Hold on. It is called Little Island. Little Island Pier. Right there. Not only is Little Island a park, it says right here, it's a music venue. Advertising concerts. These musicians will be playing here from June through September. That's pretty cool. And we're very close to where the Titanic would have landed in 1912. Just to show you what's going on here. That's New Jersey. I think that's Jersey City right over there. I kind of want to walk out on it. Maybe I should save that for next time. We got a lot to do this morning. We had a really windy and gloomy day. Setting the vibe here. All right, Pier 57 right there. This would have been 58. And right here, Pier 59 is where the Titanic should have landed in April 1912. Present day Chelsea Piers, it's a driving range. Crazy, huh? Now I'm gonna walk around, talk about some history here, what should have happened, show you where the Titanic should have landed, show you what this place is today. This was once the White Star Line port. Terminal stretched all the way down here. They owned all of these piers. And Pier 59 is where the RMS Titanic was supposed to land. It's a golf club today. So I am now inside Pier 59. I'm walking over here to the golf club. The golf club. This is the entrance to the driving range here at Pier 59. Didn't expect to see this. That's pretty cool. Golf Pro Shop. All right, so here we are on the back side of the pier. This is where the Titanic should have landed in 1912. Present day, look at that. It's like Top Golf. It's a driving range. That's pretty crazy. Always been fascinated with the history. It is a tragedy. Always try to be respectful of that, even though it was 112 years ago now. A lot of people died, and this is where they should have landed. And a lot of those people were coming to better their lives. It's a nice spot to sit here. Just taking it all in. One of the most talked about tragedies in world history. Never good to talk about tragedy, but important to talk about tragedy, if you know what I mean. And also, the Carpathia ship, which was the White Star Line's rescue ship. It was the ship that picked up many passengers after the Titanic sunk on that tragic evening. It actually dropped off some of the Titanic passengers here at Pier 59. So there were people, Titanic survivors, that did make it to Pier 59. Also, they dropped off several survivors at Pier 54, Pier 59 and Pier 54. Some fun facts there for you. Very cool talking about it here, where the Titanic should have landed. That's crazy. What if the Titanic did land here? Can you imagine if the Titanic never sank and those passengers made it here to 59? Would the world have been different? I think so. You never know. As they say, the butterfly effect could have changed everything. It's a cool car. Found this picture online. This is what the White Star Line pier house used to look like. It looks like it stretched several New York City blocks. This is what the terminal looked like down the port here, down the Hudson River. That is Pier 61. So 61, 60, right there is 59, and it stretched all the way down to Pier 54 at least, because we know that several of the survivors were dropped off at Pier 54. And also up ahead, I also read online that there is a piece left of this White Star Line building. There's still remnants of it. It's right down the way here. It's just past Little Island. So that photo I just showed you, I came across the way here. That building had to be one of the largest and longest pier houses in the world. It would have stretched at least 5 or 6 New York City blocks. Right away there, right across there, Pier 59. This is where the Titanic would have docked. I'm gonna head down here to Pier 54. All right, looking back towards Pier 59, just showed you this right here. This is all that remains of the White Star Line terminals. And I was reading that this is the structure from Pier 54. So this is where some of the Titanic survivors, perhaps its former shape, would have walked through. This belonged to Pier 54 of the White Star Line. You can make out some of the fauna up here. Look at this. It's actually very hard to see in the shadows. So I brought this photo back up on my phone. You can see the shape of what we're looking at today right there in the doorway of 61. So this would have been 54. And if you notice the font in the picture, it says White Star Line. So use your imagination, but keep this shape in your mind. Keep that in your mind. And here's that shape that you saw in the photo. White Star Line, once written right here. Now I'm in the shadows. I'm gonna move and zoom in. I see something else up there. Perhaps it's been painted over. I think I see line. But in that photo, that's where it was written. That is the same shape. I'm sure someone's commenting below. Oh, it says this. Yeah, I can't really make it out. Now underneath it, definitely see the age to it. Now this is sitting next to Little Island, Pier 57, so it would originally sat down the Hudson where Pier 54 once stood. This is very cool. Knowing that Titanic survivors and passengers passed underneath this. It's pretty cool to think about. Pretty fascinating. And kind of eerie, to be honest. So cool. This is all that's left of the White Star Line in New York City, as far as we know. Sits between the walking trail and the bike trail. I think that's in the precise location. Oh wow, check this out. It's the Titanic. RMS Titanic. Oh, there's some history right here. Okay. Cool. The unsinkable ship, the first years of the 20th century, marked the heyday of luxury transatlantic ocean liners, but also witnessed their most infamous disasters. In 1912, these piers were the intended destination for the maiden voyage of the Titanic. After hitting an iceberg in the North Atlantic, the ship quickly sank and the lives of the most passengers and crew were lost. The 710 survivors rescued by the passenger ship Carpathia, right there, I was just talking about that, were brought to Pier 54, where these piles stand today. Wow, confirming what we just talked about. So yeah, it was Pier 59 the Titanic would have landed. There's the Carpathia, the ship that did make it to New York. And over here, disaster at sea on May 7, 1915. The Cunard Line's Lusitania, among the fastest and most luxurious ocean liners was built at the time, departed from Europe Pier 54, torpedoed by a U-boat off the southeastern coast of Iceland. It sank 18 minutes and 1,198 people perished within sight of land. This event, including the loss of many American lives, became a catalyst to the United States, eventually entering the First World War in 1917. And I was always taught the weird history between the Lusitania and the Titanic, both sinking, both sister ships. They look almost identical. Didn't know that where the Lusitania took off from was where the Titanic basically was supposed to land, just a couple piers down. That's pretty freaky. So where the Titanic was supposed to leave, sank on the way to, the Lusitania, that's a hard word to say, left and sank on the way to England. Sister ships. That's crazy. That's weird. All right, so what time is it? My flight leaves about 4:30. We've got to go check out the most haunted building in New York. This place has got some fascinating history. When I saw it, I knew I had to go take a look at it. We're talking about not only haunted by several ghosts, but we're talking about a building that is haunted by the ghost of one of the greatest American authors of all time. Have you said it? Are you guessing? Mark Twain used to live in this building, and it is said they have seen his ghost inside. Yeah, we're going across the city, folks. And we are entering Greenwich Village. Very nice part of Manhattan. Actually got pizza here not too long ago at John of Bleeker Street. I may return there this afternoon before I head to the airport. Might have some New York pizza. Either there, or someone said Bleeker Street Pizza, which is down the way, is also really good. So maybe I'll try that, something different. Speaking of pizzeria, just saw this on Bella S. Abzug. That's the name of the street, Abzug, A-B-Z-U-G. Lantica Pizzeria de Michele, established 1870, Napoli. That's where pizza was made. Here's their menu here, check this out. Established 1870, not this one, but the one in Italy. They have a margarita pizza for 24 bucks. That's not too bad. And to find New York City's House of Death, what is known as the most haunted building in all of New York City, you gotta come to West 10th Street and 35th Avenue. This is the nearest cross streets, right down 10th Street here. Actually walked past it, didn't realize it. Down to the left is the House of Death. This is where Mark Twain lived from 1900 to 1901. Mark Twain went on record to say he didn't really believe in ghosts until he lived here. And I walked right past it again. Right here at 14th West 10th Street in Greenwich Village. This is the House of Death. So right here, I'm getting goosebumps. Oh my gosh, my hairs are standing up on my arms. I just got a cold chill. All right, so we're gonna talk a little more about what happened here. A lot of stuff happened here. This was also called the House of Horror. In this house once lived Mark Twain, Samuel Longhorn Clemens, that's his real name, if you didn't know, author of the beloved American classic, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. So it is noted that he lived here. Not only was this the home of Mark Twain, I'm getting spooked out, guys. I think this place is really haunted. Whoa. I don't know what's going on with me right now. This was known as the House of Death and the House of Horror because there was a young girl who was murdered here, and also a young boy that was tethered to a chair and left for dead in the 1980s. I was reading online that many people have spotted a ghost, a man in white with a white hat that looked just like Mark Twain. Now, Mark Twain did not die here. He died in Connecticut But multiple people have seen, allegedly have seen his ghost walk among the house of death. I'm gonna step back across the street. I don't know what's going on here, but this place is giving me weird vibes. And look, a Subaru parks right in front of 14. It's a Crosstrek. Hey, I drive a Crosstrek. Saw a Ecto 1 version of a Subaru yesterday at the Ghostbusters Firehouse. This is it. Now, I'm not so sure which floor. I think maybe he had the entire building, I would say. Mark Twain lived on, but ooh, I thought I saw something in the window. That was crazy. Do I see something in the window? My mind is playing tricks on me right now. I don't know. Immediately when I walked up to the building, not even thinking about the place being haunted, just talking about Mark Twain, as you saw, the hairs on my arm stood up. Yeah, there was a murder here back in 1980. A young girl murdered by her father. Horrible crap. That's insane. And I did a little research online. Let's talk about the horror of the House of Death and when it all started. This house was built in 1856. And in 1897, it had its first weird, tragic thing happen. There was a tenant here, a famous cyclist by Fred H. Andrew. And Fred H. Andrew was actually arrested for incidentally running over a toddler in the street not too far from here on his bicycle. New York Times said he was arrested August 9th, 1897. And after that, Fred's life, after he was in prison, went downhill. He suffered depression. His life was never the same. Fred actually moved out not too long after that incident. In 1900, Samuel Clemens, Mr. Mark Twain, moved into this very house of horror. And it was said that in this very spot, this is where Mark Twain started believing in ghosts. He had his own paranormal encounter. And inside his home, Mark Twain, one evening, witnessed, and these were his words, witnessed a piece of kindling, firewood, hover into the air all by itself. He said he was confused from the situation and assumed that somehow a rat may have been up to it. There was a lot of rats running around apartments. I think there still is today here in New York. And so he actually grabbed his gun and shot at the piece of kindling. And the piece of kindling, I don't know if he hit it, but he said it fell to the ground. And that is when he started believing in ghosts. And I also read that Mark Twain, living here, he was writing, he said he never felt more depressed in his life. He grew depressed living in this home. And years later, after he had moved out, several tenants had seen, it was years after he passed away in Connecticut, they have seen the ghost of Mark Twain, the man in white, smoking cigars. And shout out to NYC Ghosts. I'm researching here on my phone of the first Mark Twain ghost sighting. It was in the 1930s. A mother and daughter said not only did they see Mark Twain, but they verbally heard him say, "My name is Clemens, and I has a problem here. I gotta settle." Whoa. He disappeared moments later into thin air. What problem he had that he needed so badly needed to settle, he did not share. And in 1957, an actress by the name of Jane Bryant moved in to this house of death. And she encountered so many bumps in the night. Recorded to say she saw a shadowy figure, a woman in white, and a ghost of a cat. She believed in the paranormal, so she actually hired a paranormal investigator who came here and declared that there were over 22 spirits roaming the former home of Samuel Clemens. Mark Twain himself, a ghost with unfinished business roaming the halls. Now I have to be careful because this is very recent, and I don't want to offend anyone. I take tragedy very serious, old and new, but this is very recent, and there could be very well someone watching this that may have known the people, the names I'm about to say. In 1987, this building was also the site of a tragic murder of 6-year-old Lisa Steinberg by her father Joel Steinberg. A former criminal defense attorney, he was a lawyer. The Steinbergs lived here. Lisa Steinberg and also Lisa Nussbaum, which was her mother's name. Her mother, Hedda Nussbaum, lived here with Joel Steinberg. They were the parents of 2 children. Lisa's brother was also here the night and was almost also killed by his father and his mother. And that was the first of major tragedies, the first recorded death related to the House of Horror. This was 1987, and the people of Greenwich Village, as I was reading, have experienced paranormal activity surrounding this house since then. The ghost of Lisa has been seen by tenants, the ghost of Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, the ghost of dogs, of cats, apparitions, things that go bump in the night, shadows. This is a very creepy place, and it is why it is said is the most haunted place, building, house in New York City. My hairs are standing up again talking about it right here. So, tragic death of a young girl linked to this house. Take that matter very serious. Respects to that young lady's life taken from us. That's terrible. Both parents were taken away, charged with murder, neglect. They were neglecting these children. They were abusing these children. This had been going on for a while, up until the death. It's hard to say those things. That's what happened here. And that is why this is one of the most heavy places I've ever been. I can feel it. Why is Mark Twain still here, and what happened to him? What unfinished business does he have here at 14th West 10th Street? Who knows? Who knows? Had to come here and check it out. I hope you enjoyed the little story. I'll put a link in the description below of the sources that I got that information. And we'll step back a little ways and get this building, the House of Death, the House of Horrors, into frame. Over 22 spirits said to have haunted this place in 1956. Imagine how many are haunting it now. Ooh. Is this place haunted? I didn't bring my ghost meter, but I don't need it. It's definitely haunted. What happened to me when I walked up, what I felt, I've never felt that before. Oh, I'm feeling it now. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking myself out, I think. I don't know, I definitely feel something. Pretty spooky place. Whatever happened here, we know bad things happen here, but whatever happened here to Mark Twain must have been pretty tragic. Pretty tragic. Don't want to say something that's not true. We don't know. But whatever it is, he wants it to be known. He's been seen here a lot. The ghost of Mark Twain. The House of Death. AKA someone walked by and said, oh, that's the House of Horror. That's where I got that from. Someone just walked by and looked up and said it. The people know that this place is haunted. Oh, and I almost forgot. We came in peace, we leave in peace. Please don't, whoa, that scared me. Please don't follow us home. There's definitely something strange going on here. It is officially noon. You can hear the church bell. Right here. This is at the end of 10th Street. Avenue of the Americas.
My other thought is if I once I get so let's have
I think I missed one, so you're gonna hear 11. I'm really creeped out. For whom the bell tolls. That's actually not a church. That's the New York Public Library, one of them. Very beautiful building. And I have made it to Bleecker Street. Or made it back to Bleecker Street. A couple months ago, I went right down there to John's of Bleeker Street Pizzeria and had the very best pizza I have ever eaten in New York City. So, this is always the hardest part of this. Do I go back and get the best one of the best pizzas I ever had while I'm in New York? Or do I try something different? Well, if you know me, I'm gonna try something different. This was also recommended to me, Bleeker Street Pizza, so sorry, John's. I'll eat there again. It does say right on the sign, best pizza in New York, 3 years in a row. Well, that's good. Looks like Jimmy Kimmel shows them in here. And here we are, outside because they were bumping the music in there. Not that I didn't mind the music, it's just a little too loud. Got one slice of cheese, one slice of mushroom. As you can see, I put some Parmesan on there. Bleeker Street Pizza, taste test. So John's at Bleeker Street down the way, they only sell whole pies, no slices. Here at Bleeker Street Pizza, they sell whole pies and slices. I didn't know that before I got here. Crust is really good. Oh yeah, the crust is great. Take another bite. Okay, this is really good. Took a bite of the cheese, took a couple bites actually. As I always say, it's all about the crust and the sauce. Now, this is one of the better pizzas I've had in Manhattan. New York, one of the best New York style pizzas I've ever had. Now, so far, I don't want to say it yet. I'll give you my verdict when I'm done. And this is my journey for the rest of the evening. I have to walk up to the red train here, go to Penn Station, buy a separate ticket to take the train all the way to the Newark International Airport. I've done this so many times. 16 bucks for a ticket. I love mushroom on pizza. I've never had just mushroom on a pizza. Oh wow. Yeah, it's pretty good. There are two great pizza opportunities on Bleecker Street. Now, how do I say this without stepping on toes? If you're into slices, Bleecker Street Pizza is the best sliced pizza I've had in New York City. That was pretty dang good. If you're into whole pies, I'm more of a whole pie guy. Had I had the chance, if I knew I could only choose one pizza place had I went to Bleecker Street Pizza prior, as I did John's, I probably would have picked John's. That pizza, still my favorite pizza in New York. Also, I also go to Grimaldi's in Brooklyn a lot. I would have also preferred Grimaldi's over my experience today. That's just me though. I'm a whole pie kind of guy. The slice though was really good. It's the best sliced pizza I've ever had in New York, Bleecker Street Pizza. Check them out. Wasn't too much. I think I paid 12 bucks for 2 slices and a drink. Very affordable compared to John's. At John's you have to buy a whole pizza, and I think that whole experience that night cost me around 30 something bucks. So there you go. If you're going with friends, that might change things. But both of these pizza places on Bleecker Street, the best I've ever had in New York City. And I will try different ones every time I come, but I look forward to coming back to John's. And if I'm coming down Bleecker Street, if I'm in West Village and I just need a slice, I'm going to Bleecker Street Pizza. Whoa, hey, I'm vlogging here. That's it. I really enjoyed it. It was really good. Don't get me wrong. It was really great pizza. Here's another animal on the sidewalk. This one not eating pizza. This raccoon playing pickleball or tennis. 34th Street, Penn Station. And welcome to Madison Square Garden, the main entrance. Right over there, Penn Station. I'm gonna go down there and buy my ticket to the New Jersey Transit line. About 16, 17 bucks, as I was saying. And it's gonna take me all the way to the airport, to Newark. I've done this a few times. You never know what you're gonna encounter though. Last time I did this, there was a delay. One of the trams from the point of exit from the train to the terminal broke down, so they had to bus us. And that took forever. I almost missed my flight, so you never know what could happen. That being said, I think I'm just gonna end it right here. It's the Empire State Building. Thank you all for watching my New York City creature feature. I hope you enjoyed it, the whole video. Thanks for sticking to the end, guys. If it was your first time here, give it a thumbs up, and, well, also give it a thumbs up if it wasn't your first time here. What I meant to say was, if it was your first time here, please feel free to subscribe below. Because as I always say, there's always much ahead. We'll be back to New York City very soon. And the next time I see ya, I think we'll be back in Florida. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. We've only just begun. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Know you're awesome. Know you're loved. And no matter who you are or what you're going through, just know that there's always much ahead. Wherever you're sitting, whatever you're doing right now, just know that there's more. Midtown Manhattan, very busy place. Hope everything's okay down there. All right, I'm gonna go buy my ticket. Put this camera away. It's time for planes, trains, and automobiles. New York's finest. All right, goodbye everyone. See you soon. See you real soon. Man, I suck at doing Mickey.